y'all? It's your boy KC Fowler, one half of the Fowlers podcast, host of the Melanin Warriors podcast, bringing you part two of the Dahomey Warriors, also known as the Ahasi. We're not going to use that other word that the Europeans call them. Catch part one if you're trying to figure out what I'm talking about. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So the Europeans began to advance into West Africa quickly during the late 19th century, and in 1890, the King Bahazin, which was another melanin warrior I covered previously. Y'all go ahead and check that episode out where I go into more detail of this conflict. So they started fighting the French in the course of the first Franco-Dahaman War. Europeans noted that the Dahomey warriors handled themselves greatly during hand-to-hand combat, but were shooting their rifles from the hip instead of from the shoulder. So what this does for all my non-shooters out there, if you're shooting from the hip, you're not going to have a good sight picture. You're not going to be able to aim properly. You just practically shooting and hoping you hit something. Versus, you know, coming from the actual shoulder where you have the buttstock in there and it's firm, and you know you can actually get your good sight picture up, which allows you to actually hit what you're aiming at. So the Ahasi participated in one of the major battles during this conflict. In Katanu, thousands of these amazing melanin warriors charged the French lines and engaged them in hand-to-hand combat. According to the Europeans, again, they were soundly defeated with gunfire, and it was reported that 129 Dahomey warriors were killed during the melee. That basically put an end to the first war. During the end of the second, the Dahomey were assigned to target specific French officers, even though these melanin warriors put up a great fight, skirmish after skirmish. But unfortunately, as history shows, the technological advancement and armament of the French led to the defeat of the Dahomey kingdom. On October 6th at Adigon, the bulk of the Ahasi forces were wiped out in a matter of hours when the French charged. The charge was won simply because the French had longer bayonets that gave them the advantage. You know, the Dahomey warriors had their spears and everything like that, but because of the bayonets being longer on the rifles, you know, they could actually attack the Dahomey warriors with their reach, and that's, you know, sums up pretty much how they lost. Even defeated, the respect the French Foreign Legion had for these women warriors was so great that they wrote complimenting them on their incredible courage and audacity. So the Ahasi was expanded when their once proud kingdom became a French protectorate. Some traditions of the people states that some Ahasi remained loyal to the cause, and they secretly assassinated a great number of French officers. Other stories state they resumed their roles as bodyguards, secretly protecting Agoli Agbo, King Bahansin's brother, disguising themselves as his wives. So the last surviving Ahasi was thought to be a woman named Nawi. She passed away in 1979, living to be over 100 years old, guys. They interviewed her, you know, and talked about her fighting against the French and everything like that. I wish I had footage of that. I'm gonna look for it for myself, guys, and if I could find it to share with you guys, definitely all my Men and Warrior fans out there, I'll be sharing that with you. So the betrayal of Nawi is in an upcoming movie and starring Viola Davis and others, and it actually dropped September the 16th of this year. And I, for one, am really excited to watch this one. Just as excited as I was to watch Netflix's Amina, another Melanin Warrior I covered on an earlier episode. And you know, it was a good portrayal. It's a good portrayal of our melanin sisters in all their glory, guys. So I can't wait to see that movie. I hope you guys watch it too. Y'all put something in the comments if you know anything about the movie, or if you've seen Amina. If you haven't seen Amina, check it out and then jump back on. When I do an Instagram live or something like that, jump on, we'll talk about it. So anyway, guys, part two of the mighty Dahomey warriors who fought, died, and were forced to adapt to a new way of living. To me, it exhibits what it means to be a melanin warrior. They kept going, they kept pushing. Resiliency, guys. Us melanin people, man, we're so freaking resilient, and regardless of the situation, loss, win, whatever, we're gonna keep pushing. So their greatness lives on in fictional shows like Lovecraft Country. Well, what's her name? Hippolyta or something like that. She was Ohasi for a second. If you guys seen that show, great show, by the way. And other productions that were, I guess the term is, whitewashed up until Black Panther, because you know they had these old 60s, 70s movies depicting these mighty warriors as these big, gigantic Caucasian women and stuff like that. Y'all check it out on YouTube. It's there. I promise it is. But you know, they fixed that when it came to Black Panther, man. So shout out to Stanley, R.I.P., you know, for bringing these ladies to the Marvel Universe. But hey man, that's it for part 2, guys. This your boy Casey Fowler, one half of the Fowler's podcast, host of the Melanin Warriors podcast. Y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe, share. Check me out on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter. Check out the audio versions of the Melanin Warriors podcast on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more, guys. And hey, like always, if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. It's your boy.